Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We are back with the videos. Super excited. Um, so I was moving. We moved in November, and then I was pretty much sick for the entire month of December. So I didn't want to do crafty stuff because I didn't want to mail anything out with germs. That was not Christmas cheer that I wanted to spread. I haven't really been crafting. My craft room is finally, for the most part, done. Um, Obviously, it's not going to be exactly how I want it for a couple weeks until we get everything sorted. But we're going to start a new series here on Tiffany Crafting Like a Boss McGill, and also on my Facebook page, Coffee, Cake, and Crafting. So, if you want to join my Facebook page, Coffee, Cake, and Crafting, there are 3 questions that you have to answer. If you do not answer the questions, we do not accept you into the group. The reason why we do this is because we get several people a day trying to come into the group, and a lot of them are just um, undesirable people who are just trying to get information or um, trying to, just ruin the craft world. So if you don't answer the questions, I'm sorry, I just delete. Okay. So this new challenge is going to be 52 weeks of crafting. So every Monday, I'm going to come out with a video. I was going to start it next week, but I figured since the New Year's is in the middle of the week, we might as well start it now, this Monday, December 30th. So this is your first project. Basically, every week we're going to have a project. You have a whole week to finish a project. It's not for anything other than to keep your mind crafty. Normally on the Facebook page, Coffee, Cake, and Crafting, we do crafting every day with hashtag 365. Everyone starts off super strong, and then by February, March, we haven't been posting every single day. So now we're just going to do it once a week. All you have to do is just post a picture once a week, or tag me in your YouTube video, Crafting Like a Boss, so that way I can see what you made. Okay, so our first project that we're going to get started with is this really cute planner. This is super cute. It's very simple. It's going to take us maybe 20 minutes to do. Okay, I decided to use a Velcro closure because I had a clear Velcro here. I don't really care about the underside, if people can see the Velcro. You can use magnets, you can use ribbon, you don't even have to have a closure. It closes by itself, it's very sturdy. I just chose to use the Velcro to keep it together. So this is how it opens. And we have a generous pocket here, like so. We have another pocket here, and then we have a notepad. So I am planning on using this notebook, this planner, for my 52 weeks projects. Now I wrote down week 1, I wrote down the name of the project, I wrote down what we needed, how to score it, all the instructions for it. So hopefully by the time we're done with this, I will have 52 projects in my notebook. I can add pictures or whatever I want on the sides. If I decide to tear this off, I can just slip it in the side, because you know how sometimes it will, the pages will come off. How it is attached, I just did a belly band and put half the notebook in there because my belly band was a little chunky. And if I just put the back piece of cardboard in the belly band, it still slid around. So I just put enough paper in there so it doesn't slide around. The reason why I did that is so I can reuse this once all the paper's gone. You don't have to do this step. You can just put this down with some score tape and you're good to go. Okay, so this is what it is. This is not my creation. I saw this on YouTube. It's called the Suitable Holiday Planner, and it was by Suitably Stamped. Okay, that's her YouTube name. I think this project was from like 2011. Super easy. You're going to love how easy it is. What you need is 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. 8.5 by 11 cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and get my scoreboard out and my paper, which I have here. I opted to use the 110-pound weight because I'm going to probably leave it in my, like the little Michael's cart. Probably going to leave it in there, and we're in and out of that all the time. You can use the thinner cardstock if you don't plan on putting it like in your purse, something like that. It's fine. The notebooks I used are from Dollar Tree. It is Top Flight. They are 5 by 8 inches, 2 to a pack. I got them after the school sale. They went on clearance. They were a quarter. They only had 4 packs, so I got 8 notebooks with that. Okay, so go ahead and get your scoreboard, your scoring tool, your ruler, and stylus, whatever you're using to score. On both pages, we're going to do the same. I have my little cheat sheet here so I don't have to keep my notebook open. So on both of them, we are going to score it at 5 1/4 and 5 3/4. Okay. So I like my board sideways when I score. So, but it's 5 1/4 and 5 3/4. That's it on the long side. Okay, second page, same thing. Put the 11-inch side at the top, 5 1/4 by 5 3/4. There we go. Don't worry if you skip like I just did. It's not gonna bother. I always skip. It's fine. Okay, that's all you're gonna need with your scoreboard. You don't need that anymore for this project. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and fold on your score marks, making sure it was even. Use your bone folder. You definitely want to use your bone folder if you are using the 110-pound weight cardstock, because this cardstock is very hard to work with. Well, it's not very hard to work. I shouldn't say that. It's thicker to work with. Okay, so we just want to go ahead and follow the lines. This one, because I skipped, it is giving me a little bit of problems, but that's okay. All I'm going to do is just make sure it's lined up properly and give it a good crease. I was trying to go on the, the part where I skipped. So see what I'm saying? You can't even see where I messed up on the scoring. It's fine. You'll be fine. Okay. And you're going to fold it the same way on the other piece and crease it and crease it. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So you have 2 little books, if you will. This is how it looks. And they're together. All you're gonna do at this point is tape or glue. Oh my gosh. One inside the other. This is all you're gonna do. Okay. So I'm gonna put this one as the bottom base because that's where I, misscored. So this will piece be over the top of it. We're still gonna cover it with designer paper. So again, it's not gonna matter. I'm gonna go ahead and use my 1-inch score tape, and all I'm gonna do is, so this is how it's gonna be lined up, as you guys can see. Let me move this piece all the way over. So I wanna go ahead and put score tape on the back of this piece, okay? So, and honestly, wherever you put your score tape, it's fine. Just make sure you put your book together the correct way, just. Okay, so sometimes it's easier if you unfold your book. Where are my scissors? When I'm doing parameter taping like this, I do like to use scissors to cut the score tape, only because it gives it a cleaner look and I don't have to worry about overhang. You can use your little mitering tools, or you can just pull it off with your hand. It doesn't really matter, honestly. So I'm actually going to use glue and tape. I could probably just use glue, but this project is so easy that we can do 2 steps. It's fine. And I think it's just really peace of mind with the 110-pound weight cardstock. Okay. Get that good adhesion by varnishing. peel our pieces off. So if your glue is varnished and down, your backing should peel off. If it doesn't peel off easily, that means that it's not fully adhered to your bottom piece. So you just need to go ahead and take your bone folder and rub it back over. Okay, now I'm just gonna take my art glitter glue and I'm just gonna do a thin scribble in the middle there. It's probably overkill, but like I said, it doesn't matter. And again, you see how I just turned it upside down? It doesn't matter which side you put it on as long as one side folds this way and the other side folds in. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just go ahead and line up. We're gonna butt it right up against that square line, but we're not gonna go over it. That's the most important part. Okay, so we're good. Let's get that glue spread in the middle. Make sure everything is adhered down. So at this point, this is where I'm gonna see which side I like better. I might like this side. Sometimes you don't score all the way. Yeah, I like this side on top better. All I did was see which one I like. Boom, boom, you know, whatever. This side seemed to close, stay flat, so I'm just gonna use this side. Okay. So yes, you can see the glue until it dries, and then you can't see the glue lines. I know a lot of people were worried about that in previous videos. So now you're done. This is it, guys. So we can make pockets. The pockets are optional, or you can, you know, just mat. You can do pictures. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mat this one because I am going to use it for something else. And so as you can see here, I use the Stampin' Up! Bird Ballot paper. I am going to continue using that paper. And sorry, I'm working on 2 different projects, so this is part of a different project I'm working on. Okay, so I did the birds on this one, and I think I'm gonna go with something else. I did the birds and feathers, and so I think I want to do, I'm gonna do flowers and actually, I'm just going to use this piece, the front and the back. I think that would be really pretty. The back are just little footprints. So you can measure your board here, your book, and you can leave as much border as you want. I cut my papers, I think it was 5 by 8 1/4. That's what I cut my papers. This is what the border you get with the 5 by 8 1/4. If you want different borders, obviously, just change your borders. Okay, so you do need 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 pieces of paper the same measurement. I did not decorate behind my notepad because my notepad fit perfectly in there, so I just left mine black with the belly band. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut mine down. So I did not get the new Stampin' Up! Trimmer. I got this one. It's pretty much the exact same as the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, but this one is from AC Moore, and I got it, you know, AC Moore is going out of business, so it was on sale. I like it. You know, I didn't think I would. It's a little different to get used to because I don't have my top measurements like I did on the other Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, and I use those more than I use the bottom measurements, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to do 8 1/4. And the other thing is kind of weird is that it doesn't have the grid lines like the other one, so you can clearly see what's 1/4 of an inch. But, you know, it only took me, you know, once or twice using it to get used to it. So my paper's directional, so that's why I'm cutting it this way. Make sure whatever direction you want your paper, that's the way you cut it. So 8 1/4 by 5. This is the only weird thing, is that you do have to move that arm if you want to get this 5-inch cut. So because I only have 2 pieces of this paper, and it is directional, I'm going to have to use a different one for the back, but that's okay. It's all the same collection, and so it's going to match perfectly. Just trust in your collection. All right, so let me get this second paper, turn it the right way. 8 1/4. I mean, you can obviously, some people just like to do the math and they don't even open the arm, but I just rather open the arm. It's not a big deal. Okay, so by 5 and by 5. Okay. So we have our 4 pieces there, and I think I'm just going to use I'm just trying to find a scrap piece to use for the back, one that doesn't necessarily, here we go. I'm going to use this little piece. So let me cut this one. 8 1/4. Actually, you know what? Because I'm not using the directional side, this might even be, oh yeah, that's almost perfect. Okay, so we're going to cut it by 5. Always check your paper, especially if you're not using the pattern, if it's not a directional pattern. That way you can, you know, save paper. So 5 by 8 1/4. Now the arm on this is a little bit harder to swing out than it was on the other trimmer. And you have to make sure that you actually get it into this bottom piece here when you're closing it. Because if you go up, it's all wonky, but you got to slide it in. That's the caveat, my trick. The thing that's been annoying me all day, to be fair. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 and 2. And then this piece, I think it's just going to be the back. You don't have to decorate the back. I did because my, to be honest, my closure was an afterthought. And so I glued it down, and then I was like, okay, let me go ahead and decorate the back. So that way it wasn't an afterthought. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and mat my 2 inside pages because I want my pocket on top of the matting. Not everyone does that. I enjoy the border behind the pocket. If you do not enjoy the border behind the pocket, then you don't have to mat first, and you can make smaller pieces to go inside. Some people just will make it go, you know, just this far into the pocket. Again, I like that border, so that's why I do the full sheet and then cover it with the pocket. Okay. It's all about your preference. And actually it's all about, you know, if you have a piece of scrap paper that you really, really want for this, and you know, you don't have enough, then you probably don't want to mat all the way down. Okay, I didn't realize my chicken feet are directional, which according to this side, they should go up this way. But I don't want them to go that way. I want them to go down, like they're walking down. Okay, so I'm just going to use the glitter glue. You can use tape runner, ATG, Tombow, snail, whatever. Elmer Shore Bond. I used to be obsessed with Elmer Shore Bond, and then I was introduced to art glitter glue, and then that is all she wrote. Okay, spread that glue. Get your glue towel, because yes, the art glitter glue dries clear, but I still like to wipe the glue. Make sure you got it all the way down. Okay. And And then the other side, I want to make sure my footprints are going down as well. Whatever I do to the right, I want to do to the left. And so you don't have to organize. You don't have to cover your gussets if you don't want to. I am going to cover my gussets because we can just use pieces of scrap to cover the gussets. Okay, so just kind of eyeball that as best as you can. You see how I just drop and go? It's easier for me if I don't think about it. It goes perfectly every single time. If I think it through, it gets crooked. Okay, wipe the glue off. Perfect. Again, I'm not going to mat my inside. There's no point because my fits perfectly. Now, if you use a smaller notebook, you may want to mat it so that way you can have a peep of that paper peeking out. It's up to you. Okay, again, I want my book. This side is the front. I'm going to pick the two out of the two pieces. This one has more birds, so that's going to go right here on the cover. Now, before you do your covers, this is where you need to decide what type of closure you're going to do. If you want to do this simple scrap closure like I did, or if you want to put a magnet, then you're going to go ahead and put your magnets before you do this step. I'm going to go ahead and do the Velcro again. I'm okay with this little tiny clear Velcro. I'm okay with the Velcro showing here. I didn't even decorate the inside of that. It doesn't bother me, but some people it will. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down my cover, but I'm not going to glue down the back. Not yet. Okay. I think I cut too many pieces of paper. One, two, no, okay. And then we need to decide here. I want to have, let me see what I did in here. Okay, I did the birds again here. So I'm going to do the birds again on the inside. I just glued this down. So I need to make sure. I usually have a squeegee, but right now it's over on my Cameo station, so I'll just use a bone folder. Okay, and then my inside piece, I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I'll have the birds there. Look how beautiful that yellow is. I do have white notebooks. I may put a white notebook in here instead of the yellow, depending on how the yellow looks with the yellow footprints. I was going to say footsteps. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm just going to eyeball this, drop it down, and we're good. I'm going to open the side, varnish the glue, and glue towel. This glue towel has been well loved. It's glue, paint, whatever. I just pop it in the washing machine. It's a lint-free towel, like a dish towel type thing. Okay. Okay, like I said, I'm going to leave my back open. You can even have it open this, you know, you can have it open however you want. So, but that's going to be my cover. Okay, pockets. Let's move this out of the way. This is going to be our back when we're done. I guess I could do the birds that way too, doesn't matter, but I just like that pink. I think that just looks really pretty with that yellow, or blue and yellow. So I'm going to set this to the side, and now we are going to work on our inside pockets. Let me show you those again. These inside pockets right here. And I also need the cheat sheet for the pocket size. Now, I did not use the 110-pound weight for my pockets because I want my pockets to give. See how they give? I can get stuff in there. The 110-pound is a little bit too stiff for pockets, I feel. So I just used a regular black 8.5 by 11, like the Michaels. This happens to be one my mom sent me from Ollie's. It's just the 65-pound weight black cardstock. Okay, so you are going to need your paper trimmer again. wherever I put my paper trimmer. Oh. Okay, so for the pockets, you need 2 pieces, 4 1/4 by 5 7/8. And so what I'm going to do is cut the 5 7/8 first on the long side, and 5 7/8 is the tick mark before the 6. Okay, and then we're going to cut these both down to 4 1/4. So we're saving paper. Okay, now you can use your scoreboard, or I just use the score function on my paper trimmer. You need to score 3 sides at 1/2 inch, and so 1 long side and 2 short. Again, this is if you want the pocket that has the border like this. If you don't want the border, then you need to cut your paper 4 1/4 by 6, and that will give it completely to the sides. I don't like that, so. All right, so you see there, I did the 2 short sides and 1 long. We're gonna do the same thing with this other piece. 1/2 inch, turn it, 1/2 inch, turn it, 1/2 inch. You can, if you're using scrap paper, you know, if you need your gussets to be 1/4 inch, go for it. But this is how I make pockets. I like the 1/2 inch pocket. It's easier to work with. Okay, so now I'm going to take score tape, the 1/4 inch score tape, and I'm going to put it on the 3 flaps. I'm not going to cut my paper yet. I'm not going to miter the corners because I like to miter after I put the tape on. So for pockets, I like to put the 1/4 inch at the very edge because it gives it a little bit of give. You can, obviously you can glue up the whole flap, but it just won't have as much give because I do tend to overstuff my pockets, especially when you start putting tags and whatnot. So that's why I wanted it to be loose, that, see, I can fit my hand in there without it, you know, busting. Okay, so didn't use my scissors, and that piece of tape got all wonky. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and tape up the other one that we scored as well. It's just easier to do it. I know a lot of people have the little thing that you can, when you're doing score tape, you can just, it's like a mitering quarter or something like that. You stick it here, something like that, and you can tear it. Oh, sorry. You stick it and you can tear it. I just don't have that. So, or you can use, I mean, I could have used a bone folder. I could have used pretty much anything. If you have like a, you know, like a credit card shape or whatever. But I don't mind taping. I don't mind using scissors. Okay. Now we need to go ahead and miter. So as you can see, maybe where the 2 intersect, you're going to cut right above that. So just diagonal and diagonal. I'm going to do the other one, diagonal and diagonal. Fold over, fold over, fold over, varnish, varnish, and varnish. Okay. Or you can fold and varnish, fold and varnish, and fold and varnish. Your preference. For me, it is easier to take all the pieces of tape off. I know some people take off just the bottom, lay it down, and then do the side pieces. I just like to go for it. There's the trick that I've used before, that you can rub a glue stick, like an Elmer's glue stick, over the top of the score tape, and you have a little more wiggle room. But like I said, if I overthink it, I can't do it. If I drop and go, I'll do it. Again, I like that just 1/4 inch border, drop, and go. Varnish, varnish, varnish. Let me make sure I didn't put that on upside down. Ooh, should have checked that first. Okay, and I'm making sure there's no glue overhang, which you can see there is, and so you just push it on top of itself because you don't want that piece of stick right there in your pocket, because anytime you put anything in the pocket, it's going to catch on that. Okay, so, and sometimes you get lucky and you cut it and where the corners will stick together, so you don't have to like hold it. Okay, so 1/4 of an inch on all, or not a quarter, excuse me, 1/8 of an inch. Ooh. And all 3 sides. That one's a little bit more than 1/8, so we're just going to kind of eyeball it and make sure they match. And drop and go. Varnish, varnish, varnish. Okay, those little scraps that we cut off, that's not the same paper. This one, actually the other piece should match. Yep. Other piece is what we need to go down there. I'm just going to use the same. Our pocket should be 5 7/8. Let's take our ruler. We're going to measure twice and cut once. So good thing I did that because it's not. It's 4 7/8 is the size of our pocket. So I'm going to do 4 3/4 by. So this is how I figure it out in my head. I take a piece of scratch paper and I write down the actual measurements, and then I just take it a little tick mark smaller. So this is 3 and mine is 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 by, what did I say this was? 4 7/8. 4 7/8. So when I go to cut my paper, grab my paper trimmer again. Oh my gosh, I keep losing the paper trimmer. That's what I said. With my new craft room, I really need to figure out where I want stuff. Okay, so this measurement was 4 7/8 going this way. Again, it's directional. So I'm going to put it in the 4 7/8, and then I'm going to tick it over to the right. So it's just under 4 7/8. If it makes you more comfortable, you can do whatever you want. I think I'm going to cut mine 4 3/4. A little bit more. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to cut mine 4 3/4 by 3 and, okay, so the measurement is 3 3/4, so just slightly before that. Oops. That's the other thing that I don't like about this, is that about the paper trimmer, is that the the blades are basically the same color. So yeah. So I'm putting it back in my original measurement, and I'm going to pull it over a tick. So my final measurements end up being, let's see. Sorry, I can't see my light, my bright light, so you guys can see is blinding me. So this one I did 4 3/4 by 3, and I gotta cheat. I gotta get my measuring board to tell you what that measurement is. 1 3 5. Okay, so 3 5/8 is what I did it. Again, measure your own book. Don't go by my measurements, because I may have did something wonky when I was doing it. So do your own measurements, okay? I will type out what my measurements are, but I suggest you do your own measurements. Okay, let's go ahead and glue these down. I know some of you ask how come I don't use the metal tip. It produces a lot less glue, which is great, but I just don't like it. It clogs too much for me. And as you see, I like to just throw it across the table when I'm not using it, and the metal cap pops off and blah, blah, blah. So I just use it without it. Okay, and here we go. And I always forget to put the other lid back on, and it dries up, and you just gotta use your little needle thing and you're fine. Okay, so again, I have that 1/8 of an inch border with that black, and then I have the yellow peeping out. I just think that is so, so, so beautiful. Okay. Now we are going to use our scraps for the belly band and the closure. I'm using a scrap of the 110-pound weight paper. I might have some more scrap here. I think I do. That's going to be too small. So what you need to do is take your notebook, and you need to measure your notebook. So my notebook was 5. So I need to have at least another inch, so that way I can have 1/2 inch gussets on my belly band. So I'm going to do 6 by, I think 2 inches. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So 6 by 2. This was a 12 by 12 sheet of 110-pound weight, so that's why it's bigger than the other. Okay, so I did mine. Oh, I did not do a good job. So mine's 6 by 2, and you're gonna go ahead and score it at 1/2 inch on both sides. Oh, I wasn't pushing this down all the way. So 1/2 inch, move it over, and 1/2 inch. Okay. Again, we are going to put the score tape on the edge so that way it has that little bit of give. I'm going to use the 1/4 inch score tape, and we're just going to go ahead and get that down. Oh, black on black is not good. Couldn't see where I was going. And get it down. Varnish, varnish, fold over, varnish. Now this one's going to have overhang. You see that, so we need to make sure we take care of that. Fold over, varnish. Okay. This part you may want to keep your sides on. I'm just going for it. My notebook. So even though I gave it that extra wiggle room, it's still a little bit tight, but that's okay because you have plenty of exposed glue, and you're not going to put the whole notebook in there. So I just kind of make mine rounded. It's just going to be kind of rounded. You'll be fine. You'll see when you are doing this, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to describe. You have to actually feel it. It's not going to be that tight. If you want to just use your cardboard piece, you can just use your cardboard piece. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and put mine on. I like to completely flatten mine before I put it in there. I think I'm going to make mine. So you can have it like that, or you can just flatten it. I'm just going to flatten it. I don't mind. And I'm just going to eyeball it. It's not exactly in the middle. It's kind of towards the bottom. I'm going to varnish, and you can just slide your paper in. Come on. This is why you always measure twice and cut once. So mine actually, I'm glad you guys got to see this. It didn't quite make it. I pushed the tape in too far when I was putting it down, and now it's too tight, which is fine. Guess what? All we're gonna do is slowly, because I didn't press it down, I didn't varnish it very hard, so we can pick it back up. And guess what? All we're going to do is make a new score line. See how I had that score line? Just going to make a new score line. Don't fuss, muss, nothing. Okay? You're fine. I'm going to make a new score line. Around. I'm glad you guys got to see that blooper because... And so now it's a little bit bigger, but when you go to put it down, it worked when it wasn't on camera. You know, that's how it goes. Making sure, the most important is that you do not want your belly band on your score lines. You want it next to, but not on. Okay, that's the most important. You can decorate your belly band. I'm not, because you're not going to see it. I'm just going to put my paper in now. Let's see if it works. And there we go. Come on, get in there. And there we go. So just go all the way down. And like I was saying, if you don't put the paper, you just do the cardboard box, see how it falls out? If you slide in a few pieces of the paper, it'll give it that snug fit that you want. Or if you don't want to go through all this drama of a belly band, just put some score tape on the back of your notepad and stick it down. So see, now it doesn't slide. I have it all the way up. It's not sliding because I put those pieces of paper in there. Okay, so that's gonna be your hardest part, as you can see, is the belly band. Now we're gonna go ahead and do our closure. Again, I'm just using a piece of scrap from that heavyweight cardstock, and I'm just gonna make mine, I think it was, let's see, about 3/4 of an inch. You can do your closure as big as you want. You can do a belly band on the outside. A belly band would be really cute to keep it closed. I just wanted the simple little Velcro so I can actually, you know, easily just open it, keep it moving. But I'm thinking a belly band would be really cute on this one. I'm going to do a belly band. A belly band closure. So I'm going to do a 2-inch belly band. So what I'm going to do, because I know this paper is not big enough to fit on the entire book, I'm just going to cut 2 pieces of 2 inches by however long this paper is. And 2 inches. And I'm just going to take my 1/2 inch. So at this point we're done. You can go ahead and turn the video off, or if you want to continue watching me do mine, we can do that. I'm just going to connect my 2 pieces here together. And I'm just going to measure my book around. And I just kind of want it to overlap. Everyone does their belly bands different. I like to do mine like this. I like to start off with a long piece of paper. I take one end and I use 1/2 inch score tape. And I cut that really bad. This is how I do my belly bands. There's no wrong way or right way to do a belly band. This is just the way that I enjoy doing the belly band. Some people like their belly bands to be like tight. I don't mind, you know, I really don't. Or tight, and they like it to have like the crisp pieces around the book. I don't mind. Okay, so I just kind of eyeballed that. So I'm just gonna cut it with my scissors. And I'm going to use the 1/2 inch score tape on this little piece here. And I went over because I cut this at an angle, so I just wanted to make sure the next piece was cut straight. Like so. And just pull that off. And we're going to pull that off. And again, you can make your belly band as tight or as loose as you want to make it. And now I have a belly band that's easily on and off because I just measured it like, you know, the way I did. And I got a piece of tape stuck in there, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, so there's my belly band. You can decorate your belly band obviously however you want. I think I'm gonna put flowers on mine. You know, at this point, since I'm doing a belly band, I don't have to do the back, but I think I am gonna do the back. I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna decorate this and then I'll be back. Okay, so this is how I decided to decorate this one. Obviously it has way more decoration than this one. So only thing I did was crisp up the belly band lines. I only crisp up the pattern paper. I left the rest of it the same so that way it goes on and off very easily. And let's see if I can get this focused. I just used my punches and made the flowers that you guys have seen me make 1,000 times. I took white cardstock and I ran it through a daffodilite ink pad to kind of get that yellow to match the yellow in the flowers here. Excuse me. I also took some light pink paper. I know the lighting is a little bit off. Let me see if I can get it softer. Well, it's a little better. I took pink paper and I dragged it through the ink pad as well. When I say drag it through, I literally put the scallop circle and I just dragged it over the ink pad. Dragged it, I don't know. I cut out some birds from the paper collection, glued those on the flowers so they're just kind of peeping out, having fun. I added some ribbon because Brittany says I never use my ribbon and she's not lying. So I went ahead and used my ribbon. I used one of the words. I used happiness on there, so it came out really cute. The other stuff I did off camera, I added the gusset pieces of paper. I was going to leave those black on this one, but I decided to pull in the paper that I used on the back. So I just pulled that on the gussets on the outside and the inside. This is a soft pink notepad as opposed to the yellow one. I thought the yellow was just a little too much with the yellow paper. Same size, 5 by 8. It's just the only difference is I got it from Office Depot as opposed to Dollar Tree. Oh no. So you see how that yellow is just kind of clashing. The yellow looks amazing with the feather paper. It ties in the yellow and the yellow birds. But on this one, I felt it needed something else. I had the white paper pad in there. I didn't like it, but the pink I think works perfectly. So that's what I stuck in there. The top part, all I did was take a scrap paper. So I used the feathers from the other book that I made, and I just put score tape on the front, you know, not scored it, just put the paper on top of the score tape, and I just kind of wrapped it. You'll see, that's all you do. So whatever scrap you have, just, you know, make sure it covers at least all of the front. And you want to get past that fold on the back so you have that nice clean edge. So mine's about 1 inch. That's just because that's just what size the paper was. Same inside, same everything, just different color notepad. And oh, there's too many papers. What else did I do? That was really it. So if you do want to make the closure, like I did on the book that I will be using, this one I'm going to probably gift. Since I did decorate it really more so than the other one, clearly. I will show you real quick how to make that closure. It's really simple. You're just going to use your scraps, and mine was, let's take a look, this measurement here. I honestly don't know, because it was just a scrap that I wrapped around. Oh, you guys can't see that, sorry. Okay, so 2.5. So this was probably a 4.5 strip of paper. All I did was So I think it was, this is 3/4 inches. So all I did was come in and see how much I wanted on the front. I just wanted a little tiny bit, pinch the paper, you know, on the edge, pinch it again on this edge, and then just glue the rest down underneath the paper. Very simple. Then I put the piece of Velcro, and that was it. Oh, you know what? I also folded over a little piece here for the Velcro just to kind of give it a little sturdy. Actually, I think this was when I was making the pockets. I made the pockets a little too tall, so I just cut off a piece, and that's what I used. So it's nothing elaborate. It looks really cute. I may put a bird, or I could put a word or whatever right there. But like I said, this one's for me, for my journal, for this journey. So I may decorate it. I may not. I may put pictures. I don't know yet. So this one was for me. My style, clean and simple. This one I'm probably going to give away. It's a little bit more elaborate. I did the belly band. But for both books, as you can see, it stays closed. So you don't even have to have a closure. It's not going anywhere. But I just think they're beautiful. I hope you guys do them. Meet me next Monday for our project number 2. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all of your support. And hopefully we'll continue in 2020. Bye.